What's up, YouTube? Welcome to More Trades. Welcome everybody to the live stream. This is the first real trading day of the week. So essentially today will show us if we're going to continue in the direction for the week, in my opinion, or we're going to go in the opposite direction. I posted yesterday in the Discord, I was telling everybody about this coin, Metal. It was way overextended. I'll show you this. When it was on this coin, this is on the daily. And we were looking at this and saying it's way overextended compared to Bitcoin. Bitcoin is going down, Ethereum is going down, but this is going up. Something isn't right. Entered the short, got stopped out, re-entered another short, and at the moment just watching the trade. If I get stopped, then I got stopped. But I mean, it is worth a try because the way it's looking, I'll get stopped out shortly there. I got stopped out, but I made profit over here, got stopped out after that, and at the moment, another trade got stopped out. The reason being why I took this trade is because everything was dumping. Bitcoin was pumping initially, and we were overextended to the upside. Let's go in the 1 minute. Now, if this is pumping, it's telling me that maybe Ethereum and Bitcoin are dumping, because I noticed the past 2 days, maybe they're going the opposite direction. Well, Ethereum pumped clearly all the way to 1838. Wow. The way Ethereum is looking right now, that we could continue higher because we went above the 50% retracement of this move down. Switch of the magnet. Let's go back here to the low. We are getting rejected at the 0.618. If we can hold above this 1824, which is a 0.5 fib retracement of this drop down, we are going to have some more moves to the upside, in my opinion, for Ethereum. Let me take a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin, on the other hand, yeah, we're making a run up to the upside. This could be just be a quick money grab. It happens sometimes on the charts, in the markets. There's a quick money grab. I always tell you guys that when we have a quick move down, expect a quick move up, because that's basically insufficiency. Barely any consolidation, even on the 15-minute. On the 1 hour, to just look like 1 or 2 candles. There you go. So you would expect this to happen. You could come up all the way to the 50 EMA over here, 26,204, to continue lower. Now, my targets for Bitcoin, I was telling you a few days ago, or was it Ethereum? Actually, Ethereum, my video said Ethereum is going to melt some faces. I did not give you a target exactly, but I gave you the levels in advance. I told you if we lose a POC, then I would expect to come down to the value area high. POC was at 1867. And value area low, sorry, was at 1796. I think Ethereum can come all the way down to 1751 at least before getting a bounce. But if we sustain this break above the 1824 that I showed you, you would expect higher levels. I'm still going to be stubborn. I'm going to enter another trade on that coin. Let me just go back to that chart and look at the reaction. What's happening over here? Does it have some juice, or it could be just a fake move to the upside? Let's see. Any EMAs above that? That's how I take trades. Okay, so I'll just remove this because my entry, this was my initial entry. I'm back to my entry. It wicked my stop, as if they could see my stop. It wicked it exactly, I think. Look at that. Just above it. Okay. Now, if this pushes high and attempts to take yesterday's high, which was taken, to be fair, if it attempts to take today's high by Hong Kong and Tokyo, then that might be a nice wick to enter a ride down. It's a very volatile coin. It's low cap, so you could expect some crazy moves. I mean, even if your TA tells you it's going to dump, it doesn't have to happen because it's very volatile. So I'm just gonna prepare my position over here. I'm setting it on my phone in case we get up there. Okay, now back to, how do I do this? Yeah, how do I? It's a quick way of making money over here from these cheap alts, but you need to be careful. So I'm gonna keep an eye on this. Yeah, I'll keep an eye on it. Okay, now back to, let's go to Solana. Solana is an interesting one. I have this target for Solana, been waiting for it to be hit again, but it's just front running it. If you've been watching me for a while, you know I have 18,343 as a target. Yesterday's low came in at 19,118, and sorry about that. I have to come back here so I know what target I am waiting for to set an alert. 1.58, 1.59. Okay, 1.59. Let's take a Fibonacci from the swing high to the swing low over here. We hit the 0.786. It likes hitting the 0.786 and reversing. I noticed that yesterday. So we hit the 0.786 and are getting a reaction at it. So if you notice what happened here, I want to show you this. We had a push up. We came down, formed some W, came to this zone, value area high, broke out. We had a push up, came back, formed some W, and now could we get another push up? So I'll be watching the 1.5. Let me remove that. Let me set an alert over here for me just before that, so I keep an eye on it. Yeah, that would be a good point. All right, if it rings, I'll be watching, but it looks like it's getting a rejection now. Let me see, smaller time frame, stopping volume candle, very weak. Volume, how is the volume over here? The volume is not that strong to the upside. It's stronger on the stopping volume. I just fired my short, and I'm gonna put a stop loss so I don't liquidate my account, because these coins are crazy. Yeah. Okay. So back to the TA. Let's go to Solana. Solana is a nice coin. It moves slower, sometimes slower than Ethereum and Bitcoin. On the 15-minute, Solana is attempting a V-shaped recovery, but this isn't promising, because what Solana could be doing is this. This over here could be a wave 4 or wave B. So that tells me that we have one more move down. So if I take it from here, from this swing to the low over here to that, I would say that I would expect it to come to at least $18, but anything can happen in the charts. I mean, it was moving down, it pulled back up, it came all the way down over here to the 0.236. Actually, no, this is the 0.786. It came all the way down to the 0.786, wicked below that, and it's getting a reaction nicely. So I would say Solana has more chances to go down to 18. Solana does have a chance to go to 18. Everyone was overly bearish. I know my title says 17K, 35K, but in my opinion, when I go back to Bitcoin and I go to the CME chart, it's interesting to see that, what are we going to do first? Is Bitcoin going to come down, fill this gap at around 20K first? You have this gap over here, or are we gonna pump up and come all the way up to fill this gap at 35K? You see what I'm saying? We could do either. No one knows, but we need to look at probabilities. Now this move over here, this over here, was reminding me of something over here. We had a high, we had a high, we had a high, we had a high. Then we formed a low. We broke this as we broke here, and we could be bouncing off. I mean, if we take a Fibonacci retracement from this middle part to the high, you can see we came to the 1.414. Let's see if there's any similarities. I think over here we exceeded it, but let's try. We came exactly to the 1.414 again. It's possible that Bitcoin reverses from here. I mean, the charts always make people think it's so bearish and we're going down. So even if we take trend-based Fib from this swing high to this swing low back to the high, so far we exceeded the 1-to-1 extension. Over here, we came from this swing high to this swing low. Let's do it all over again. This swing high, I'll say to this swing low. We exceed, over here we went to the 1.618. So it's possible we go to the 1.618 and that will take Bitcoin all the way down to 23.4. It's very possible we go down there. There's still some downside risk, some upside risk. Trading is all a game of probability. Looking at the dollar is still trying to rip to the upside. If the dollar today doesn't break the 104.251, if it doesn't break this high, in my opinion, if it doesn't break the 31st of May high, that will be bullish for the markets. Because this move, the way you look at it, is unsustainable. But we had a retrace, I believe, all the way to the 50 EMA, broke below it, came back up, and are holding. This is on the 4-hourly, so this is very strong. I mean, look at it, trying to hold it. Now, if you look at the MACD for the dollar on the 4-hourly, not very strong, but you could see this V shape over here. You could see that it pushes up. It's trying to push up. And going to the Nasdaq over here, because Bitcoin has a correlation with the Nasdaq and the S&P. And we look at the Nasdaq, MACD is looking bearish, has more momentum to the downside on the 4-hourly. On the daily, it is rolling over, trying to cross. It will take a day or two. So I think the Nasdaq could be at a point where it says, okay, it's time to have a big retrace. Because if you take the Nasdaq from this swing high that we had in October, I believe, March 2022, and you bring it to the swing low, you can see that we have exceeded the 0.786. Now, usually when you exceed the 0.786 retracement, it tells you that you're going into that direction. But if you take it from the all-time high all the way to the swing low, we are at the golden pocket exactly. We're struggling at the 0.618. So that is bearish. This is a point where someone would look and say, I'm going short on the Nasdaq. It looks bearish. Any EMAs, not on my indicator, probably some other number of EMAs, but on my indicator, I don't see anything above it. But we have the Fibonacci retracement. We are at the golden pocket, a point where you would consider a short. Dow Jones isn't doing as well as the Nasdaq. We are back at the this is the candle we're in this month. We are at we hit the 0.618 a while back. Let's see on the daily. Yeah, we're very close to the 618. We hit it yesterday and are reversing now. S&P 500, I'll look at the mini futures. If you lose the 425 over here, 4,250. Where is it? Over here. You could be coming down as low as here, 419. So S&P, let's look at the retracement that we have from the S&P from the all-time high. All-time high to the swing low. S&P, look at that, golden pocket is just a few dollars away, 4313. So all in all, I think we're all at level of resistance in the stock market. And the VIX is just breaking historical lows. And last time we were here, if you want to go back in history, last time was here. July 2021. If you go back to Bitcoin, July 2021, and we look at what happened to Bitcoin so we can make sense. July, May, June, July. This was July. We had one more dip and we sprung out over here at the VIX. The VIX was July 2021, I said, over here. The VIX started pumping. We had and Bitcoin in the market started dumping. Then the VIX got that wick and started dropping, and the markets ripped up. It could play out. Ethereum, let's look what Ethereum is doing at the moment. Ethereum needs to not hold the 424 and above. I mean 1824 and above. Currently it's at 1829. If it's a sustained break, then in half an hour, if we're closing above 1824 and the next candle opens and closes above 1824, we have more up to the upside. I was saying in the Discord that we do have some levels we could consider shorting for Ethereum if we are to get there. I believe I said 18. I have targets for the retracement 1824 and 1844 for Ethereum, but we also have the 1850 zone that we need to keep an eye on. So Ethereum's target, I'm just looking at my Discord. I said Ethereum next trade setup in my crypto trading section. I said ETH short setup if it pumps to 1828 or 1844, look for a rejection. And now at the moment we are at that level, but we're not getting a strong rejection. We might get it in a bit, but look at that. I told you 1828 was here. You maybe got stopped out if you took that trade, or 1844, which was somewhere around here. So watch out for those levels. 1828, 1844. If we are unable to hold it, maybe it's a good chance for a short. But this candle, this big green candle, tells me another story. Usually when you see a big green candle above the 50 EMA, then you would expect some continuation at least. And I always point this out on my videos, on my chat, on my Discord, that when you have a big move down, you have a Bart Simpson head, inverted Bart Simpson, and we go back up. It always happens in both directions. Now let's look at my trade. How is it going so far? MTL. Let's see. MTL should be a quick scalp. Unfortunately, I was trying to hold it longer than it should. There you go. It tried to get to the alert that I set, and that wouldn't be good for me. At the moment, we're holding the 50. We were refusing to break it. Look, it's holding the 50 from down here. I think from the 25th of May, we broke 2nd of June, and for the past 3 days, it's been ripping up. It looks like it's going to break it, then we come back up. Stochastic on the 15-minute for metal is crossed to the upside. So basically, I went against my usual TA. I tell you to watch the stochastic RSI, the EMAs cross down, and stochastic RSIs cross down, like over here. We had a cross down, and EMAs cross down, and you could use, this is the MACD, sorry, MACD, stochastic, and the EMAs. Once you get those three signals confirming, telling you that, okay, it's time to short, then that's a good time to short. Stochastic is overbought on the 15 minutes. We could have a push down. On the 1 hourly, 1 hour could send us up. It's refusing to cross down. 4 hourly, double topped stochastic as price moved up. Price was forming higher highs and we're forming somewhat of lower highs on the stochastic. Well, okay, they are higher highs probably, but yeah, we have some room on the 4 hourly to go down. Daily on metal is preparing to maybe cross down. So in my eyes, that's kind of strange because the markets are dumping and this was pumping. Now the markets are pumping. And what could happen, and I've experienced it in Lena, it was dumping, it was pumping while the markets were dumping, and I thought that's the place to go short. But and then what happened is once the market started pumping, it shot even higher. So that's a possibility. You need to be aware of that. Target for Bitcoin. Bitcoin can go all the way down to 9 or 10K. Why? Because we have a CME gap there. We have a lot of liquidity there. My immediate target for Bitcoin is 25K. Let's go to the chart. I'm going to show you now. Serious TA. Let's go back to Bitcoin. Why do I think 25K on the dot? I have the 200 exponential moving average coming at 25,200. It's rejecting the VWAP on the 4 hourly. Wait, where is that chart? I have the 200 EMA coming at, 25,200 is a zone I'd be interested in. We're bouncing off the trend line. There are many trend lines over here, but we're bouncing off a trend line that I drew yesterday. Yeah, it was just yesterday. So I won't give it much of attention. I need to delete that. I don't like that. I don't like that. And I don't want this trend line anymore. Okay, so this is Bitcoin. If we get up here to the value area low and you see a rejection candle on smaller time frames, then that would be a point where you say, okay, I will go short. It is possible. We're already at 26K. I mean, that's a quick move, I think. Yeah, we're already at 26K. We could come all the way up to 27,130. We have the 800 coming in at 26.8 and the 200 coming in 26,230. Now, I believe Bitcoin can come all the way to 25K or even 24,879. That's the low average daily range for Bitcoin. And since we got rejected from the M3 level over here, we could come all the way to the M1, 24,658. And if we look left and try to see what is at that level, 24,658 would be, there, it's clear. This is why I said 25K, because I have the value area high of this lower range. This is the value area high for this range. 25K on the dot. I believe this is a good zone. You can see it's like horizontal support and resistance, and now it could be support. Now, 24,658 would be this zone. So be almost the same zone as the value area high for this zone. So we lost the VWAP. We're hitting the VWAP and getting rejected. We might come to the value area high. If you lose the value area high, if you happen to lose it, logic would say you're coming down all the way down to 19,208. I know that's very unpopular to say. And you have the value area low at 1735. I don't think so. I should be bearish while we're dumping. No one should be bearish while you're dumping. That's the wrong thing. You should be looking for buy opportunities. So these are my targets: 19,208, 18,4, 1735. Of course, you do have 25K. You have 24K. 23,800, and you have the 22K zone. You need to be aware of those. But I'm just pointing out macro, like in the long term, what is possible to play out, so you don't get caught out by surprise wondering what really happened. You have 22,961 over here. You have 22,954. I don't know why I have them very close by. Previous weekly levels, 21,000 and 19,692. You have naked point of control coming in at, which would be a point where you could see a reaction and a bounce sometimes. So looking at the 4 hourly, our naked point of control for Bitcoin, let it load up. We have a naked point of control at 24,593, 24,610, I would say. A lot of times we hit them. We could come up and get this naked point of control, 26.7. I gave you that level. I told you 26.7. It's basically this top over here. You could hit that, get rejection, come down for the lower one. If you don't get a rejection, then you just drive through it. Value area low has a naked point of control right next to it. So these levels are for me to watch to the upside, 26,750 and 27,130 for me. We'll be having the 200 EMA coming at this zone on the 4-hourly with the value area low of the previous range and the NPOC. On the other hand, looking at Solana, naked point of control comes at $20, $21, and to the downside you have 19 and 18.757. So these zones are on the 4-hourly. Obviously, if you go to the hourly, you might see something else, but those levels on the 4-hourly are the macro. So if you go back, let it load, then I'll go back. Go back to the 4-hourly, you have this. What you would be doing by coming back up here, you'd be recovering half of this vector candle, or actually 0.618 Fibonacci of this vector. But if you pull down all the way, it will be somewhere around the 0.786. So I would say that's a good zone. Value area low aligns nicely with golden pocket, but that's just for this wick, this candle. But taking from this swing high to the swing low, you see that, yeah, golden pocket, NPOC, very close by. So I'd be aware of that for Solana. Now Solana's moved down from up here. If we said we did A, B, and a C down, and the C you had an A, and now you're having a B, you would expect the B could come up all the way to the $22 zone. We got rejected, 0.382. Now what is next for Solana? The bearish target, the bullish target, I've given it so many times. The bearish target to the downside could give me this third wave or C wave can come down to $14, $15, or even the $8 zone. I won't be so bearish about it, but that is the possible bearish outcome. Now, if I want to look at it in a bullish outcome, it needs to hold this low. It needs to hold this low, the low of 10th of March. So if Solana comes down all the way to the low of the 10th of March and doesn't break it, it has to hold this 18.2 to still be bullish. If it doesn't break the low of 10th of March, but the RSI on the daily, the relative strength index does not, that's a monthly, does not break the 10th of March low over here. So what I'm saying is that I want the RSI to come down. I mean RSI to break this low of 10th of March. I'm looking at that in all assets, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and other coins. And I want Solana's price to come all the way down here, but not break this low. Not break the 7.777. So if Solana comes all the way down here, it can still be a bullish outcome. Even though it will be very stretched, but I think that would be a nice one. Sorry, I didn't mean that low. This low, 10th of March low is over here. So Solana to come here and not break the 15.993. 15.993. Solana to come down and hold above 15.993, possibly at this zone, at this Fib retracement. I believe it's a Fibonacci retracement that I put out. 16.396. I can't see that now. Anyways, for Solana to hold that level, at least the 17.2, that would be a nice one for Solana to bounce off and fire out. Now, if I go back to what is that? Quant. Let's look at Quant. What is Quant doing? Quant, on the other hand, is above this level, 114. It has broken out of this channel, came back, retested, fell below, and you could have drawn another wedge or a channel that comes like this. And now basically Solana is back testing the channel. Look at that. If I just draw it roughly, you could see the wedge or the channel. Solana is testing it, back testing it. It has a bit more downside to go to back test it. That'll bring it back to the 101. But as long as holding the 104, 131 is possible. Uh, Falling wedges do break out most of the time, maybe 60% of the time. So this quant can go higher. If it loses 114, it comes down to the 95 range, I believe. But yeah, this isn't good. Looks good. This looks like a head and shoulders that's already breaking down. We're testing. We're trying to get above the neckline at the moment for quant. Litecoin, as long as you're above 85, 95 is the next zone. You see, as long as you're above 85, 95, 85, 95. You hit 95, you sell, you come to 85 or lower. You get to 85, you buy, you go to 95. So 73, 85, 95. It's been like this for months. I've been saying this for months. It hasn't changed. Look at that. This is from the 13th of November 2022. That's like 7 months of same price action. I mean, you are practically in a range, even though it's not a perfect range. You are in an ascending, ascending wedge or something, or a triangle. You came up, hit that once. Could you be in a correction A, B, C, coming down, or you came down already for D, E, and the breakdown? It's possible. But this doesn't look completed because we had this shape and we got this leg. Now we have this shape. I would expect probably if we get, this sounds very bullish, but imagine you get that. Depending where it breaks, you give it a partner leg all the way to 159. It is possible. However, if this breaks in either direction, the technical target would be the measured move of this. And it depends where it breaks, if it's today, tomorrow, or on the 18th of June, or on the FOMC, or on the 14th of June. We could come down to 26. That's very far-fetched for now. If you guys like this TA and enjoy what I'm posting or saying, please hit the likes, subscribe to the channel, join the free Discord. And if you really like this, you could support the channel through link in the channel description, in the video description that says buy me a coffee. You can donate whatever through PayPal, a secure site, anonymously. Okay, over here, to be exact, this is our first time in a long time getting to this range. So I can assume we're somewhere here, 24th of June, 2021. I would like to compare it to Bitcoin to see what was Bitcoin doing on the 24th of June, 2021. 24th of June was here. And I want to do this. Why don't I just do this? Where is that? Oh, I always, whenever I need it, I can't find it. There you go. Let's add that. There you go. Let's get rid of the RSI for now. And we can compare these two and put them both in line chart. And that way we can see clearly the relation between VIX and Bitcoin. 24th of June, 2021. Over here, the top, the orange one is the VIX. It was going lower. And Bitcoin at the bottom, you could see, is going higher. What happened after that is the VIX spiked, Bitcoin went low. And you can almost see an inverse relation. VIX drops, Bitcoin pumps. VIX pumps, Bitcoin dumps. El Salvador Bitcoin adoption dumped, and the VIX pumped. And then Bitcoin slightly got a push up while this got a down. So it's, you could see the, and look at that. Inversely relation. I mean, the patterns literally fit inversely. So if I take it now and I look at the VIX now today, the VIX is the orange one, and I look at it and say VIX dump, Bitcoin pump. Now VIX is at the lows, Bitcoin is at the highs. Could the VIX start pumping because VIX is at historical lows of it? Could the VIX start pumping and then Bitcoin start dumping? I mean, the VIX is at 24th June 2021, I said. It's somewhere here. This zone, the VIX was, well, the scale is different over here. It's at percentage. Anyhow, so you see the inverse relation. And even if you look at the dollar, you would see the same thing. I don't need to display it because I always talk about it. The dollar is the same thing. I mean, dollar pumps, Bitcoin dumps. Dollar is trying to break out. You need to see this. You need to be aware of this. That's a double bottom. It could form another shoulder and be an inverse head and shoulders and break out. That's a big possibility. If you go on the weekly chart or even just the daily, look at that. It's a retrace, but it's a breakdown from the 50 EMA, I believe. We're trying to hold it. We broke down, came back up, held the low almost exactly, and now are trying to hold it and make a push up. This is the zone we need to break, 104.3. The 104.3 zone is an important zone. It's not a zone, it's a trend line, which was resistance in 2016, resistance in 2020, and now it's still a zone where we struggle. If we're able to break it, we can commence our bull trend. Ethereum looks like it has a sustained break. I mean, on the hourly, we broke above it, and now we're trying to hold it. So be aware. We're getting to those targets. If you're interested in a long or a short, I gave you the zones to long or short. The first coin, the first candle was high was at 1821. If it maintains this within the next 6 minutes and a half and continues, then that will be bullish for Ethereum. We are getting rejected exactly at the 50 EMA. So make of it about, and it's below last week's low. So we're here, a zone of resistance. So you need to just be careful. Now, before I wrap up, I want to take a look at metal. The thing is with this trade, to be honest, I took it. I would say it's not the best trade. If I get a cross down, it will give me hope. And then my stochastics, RSI, and then look at my naked point of control on the 4 hourly, say. Stochastic on 50-minute and on 4 hour look like they have room to the downside. Naked points of control are down here on the 4 hourly, very low, would make insane gains if it comes here. 1 hour, nothing there. 15-minute, everything naked point controls, naked points of control are down. So yeah, I have nothing to the upside. So it's a zone that wants to be tapped. Will it tap? We have 4 big candles that are telling me. I'm going to show you something else that I look at. This is a daily time frame. So you need to be, well, it's an altcoin. It can do crazy things and spike out of the Bollinger Band and then come back. But usually, look at this, just randomly. Get one spike, 2, 3, 4, next one fails. Now over here, we had one spike, 2, 3, 4, probably the next one breaks down. So I'm betting on that. I'm betting that because the Bollinger Bands are way overextended, we broke out of the Bollinger Bands on the daily time frame. I would assume a retrace, maybe to the mid of the Bollinger Band. That would be some nice gains. If it does that, what was my entry, what would be the gains with leverage. That would be crazy. 1.5385. 1.5385 was right over here. Somewhere here. Can't get it exact with the mouse. Okay, 5392. If it comes back to the mid of the Bollinger Band, that's without leverage 28%. If we come to the NPOC, without leverage is 34%. And with this asset, you could go up to 20% X on Binance. So I would say it could make insane gains. All right, hope you liked the update. Again, hit the likes. I'll see you in the next one. More trades, I'm out.